Oh, yeah, I forgot. No cool opening for these marathons. We're just going to go boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, hi, welcome to the marathon. Let me see who made it over here. Well, of course, the lovely lady sitting right across from me who calls me the love of her life. Cosme link is pinned to the top. We're going to be watching It's a Wonderful Life. That's going to kick us off. Lady Mist, good to see you. Encouraging Netter with all the pretty blue festive emojis, and me with all the red festive emojis. Thank you so much.
Yeah, people will be trickling in. Oh, I see Connie Cleary.
There we go. Netter says do all the clicky things. Memberships as little as $2. We'd love gifted memberships because we're trying to reach 100 members by the end of the year.
And this would make a wonderful
We
Christmas
are only
present
31 members away, thanks to some very generous gifties in the last stream. Hello, Connie Cleary. Good to see you. So right now, because the only people that have spoken up are Lady Mist and Connie Cleary. I'm not seeing anyone else yet to say hi to. I did just get off the phone with Mark Malnikoff, who is on the road right now, and he's going to stop in at some point in the next 24 hours to say hi. But I'm going to go ahead and kick off It's a Wonderful Life because we are on a schedule, and we need to... I did build in a little bit of time in case, greetings and whatnot causes me to run a little bit late, but I want to be able to start the movies on time. So let's go ahead and get this started. Open up your Cosme links or queue up your DVD or VHS or whatever have you.
And just stay on the same Cosme all day. You don't have to keep going in and out.
You don't have to leave Cosme for the next 24 hours. Oh, real quick, I want to say hi to Ruby Hoove for $2. We are just about to, Merry Christmas to you as well. We're just about to kick off It's a Wonderful Life. If you want to watch along with us, the Cosme link is pinned to the top. And we're going to start right now in 5.
Yeah, hurry up, do your countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is it playing? It's not playing. Something's wrong.
Well, I want to thank Ruby Who for the 5 Netters Network giftee memberships.
Oh, thank you so much.
And those that went to Suzanne Eckstein, CluuStudios, Samuel Procter, Maria with Tiantelli, and Lynn Green. Thank you so much, sweetie.
And I'm going to start the movie again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And for some reason, the one I'm monitoring on isn't working. But you're getting the Liberty Films ding dong bell. There we go. Thank you so much, Ruby Hoove. That is really, really sweet of you. That is a wonderful little Christmas present to my wife. I super appreciate it. I see Enigma Severus is in the Cosme. Good to see you. Now, Buffalo Gals is a song that is repeated throughout this film and is part of the soundtrack. Interestingly, I actually knew the song Buffalo Gals from various Looney Tune cartoons long before I actually ever saw It's a Wonderful Life. I'm pretty sure it was a standard by the time of It's a Wonderful Life. So I don't think it's intentional, but I've oftentimes drawn comparisons between It's a Wonderful Life and Back to the Future. The whole alternate timeline, differences in the town sorts of things. I think this is probably the best hook for a movie, and it really sets the tone for the heart of the movie. Everybody in town, including his family, praying for him. Honestly, this is something that's been lost from our monoculture. This idea of praying for each other. We have pushed any kind of religious acknowledgement out of Hollywood and entertainment so badly, and then we wonder why things are the way they are. Pleasant Valley Picker. You can't log into Cosme? Is that the problem? I know that people have had that problem in the past. Maybe someone can chime in with Cosme won't let me join.
Yeah, let me.
If you need to, you can start a new account, I think.
I'm going to drop the link again in case mine got weird. Hold on. I'm going to repin it. Replace pin message. So try that one. I may have cut off the I or something at the end.
Actually, Enigma, that is a great point. George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die. I'm going to be an explorer someday. Very clearly establishes the disconnect that is going on there. But also, think about George Bailey's life course. He exemplifies the whole adage of life is what happens to you while you're making other plans, right? He has a plan for his life, and the universe has a completely different plan for him. Okay, got it to work now. Can you tell us, Picker, was that a problem with the link, or was it a problem with your login? Because if it's a greater problem, we might want to address it.
It could very well be that my original link, I left off the I at the end of Pacelli.
Okay.
I did that once before and didn't realize.
Oh, absolutely. Merry Christmas to you, too. Another Pleasant Valley Wednesday. And I love that his brother, the first time we see him, the first line he says, "I'm not scared," kind of foreshadowing the life he's going to live. One of my favorite things was that his wish never came true, and his wife's did. She wanted to marry him and live in that house. Such an awesome detail. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to, first, I want to point out the Cub Scout hat that he's wearing. I was a Cub Scout too, back when that meant something. But it fits his and to be fair, we don't know that he doesn't get his wish of $1 million, right? Because it may very well be that after this movie, he ends up seeing greater financial success just because of the way he's doing business. And I was wondering, he means shoelaces as in the candy, not like actual shoelaces, yes. Right? That's right.
And actually, those aren't really shoelaces. Those are just simply licorice things. The shoelaces were the
really real
long,
thin
skinny
ones. Yeah. Welcome, Pops, who's celebrating 14 months of membership. Just wanted to say this is arguably the best holiday film, but has a ton less Christmas than Die Hard, which triggers people. That is true. That is actually a great point. If you're going to get into how much Christmas is actually in the movie, there's not a lot here and in fact, if anything else, the fact that this is family fare that was broadcast at Christmas all the time has more to do with Christmas than it actually being a Christmas movie.
3 or 4 wives.
Considering harems were generally, more than double digits of wives, the fact that he says 3 or 4 is kind of like, okay, he's limiting himself.
Died from influenza.
This is something else I really like about George. He's clever, he pays attention, and he cares about people. Even as a child. It's kind of funny, Enigma. I never actually noticed that before. You're right, he does. Now, this is, again, very interesting storytelling because if you were looking to truncate this story, he would just stay there and try to talk to him, get his ear hit, all that kind of stuff. But this side quest, so to speak, where he goes to talk to his father, sets up so many other things about the story.
Yeah.
You get to understand who Potter is early on, the whole family business. As a teacher, you are supposed to notice details about your students. We can very much tell which ones are genuine and which ones are manipulative. Yeah. Kids are much less subtle, right? I have to believe that Potter was inspired by Scrooge.
It's like, oh, darn, I forgot to ask him about this.
Yeah. So for the purposes of this, his side quest didn't make any difference. He's doing what he would have done anyway. Also, I think it's interesting. You can see how much time has passed because of the amount of ice cream she's eaten.
And the fact she's starting to cry when he gets hit.
Again, what a great reaction. That realization of what he's done and what almost happened.
one. That's what she said.
Yeah. Not a soul. A flying carpet, yeah. So you got to think this scene through, right? The whole thing, he's playing a scam on him, right? He knows that he's not going to want the one that he's trying to sell him, right? He already has one that was picked out by Gower for him. So it's all a little gag to give him that gift. And another thing about his wish, he wishes for $1 million, right? In the literal sense, he's asking for 1 million American dollars. But in the truer spirit of the wish, he's wishing for wealth. And it's very clear by the inscription in the book that his real wealth is his friends and the people that care about him. So actually, he does get his wish. Yes, yes. Bert and Ernie. Everyone has always speculated that Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street were named after those two characters. And apparently it's been debunked repeatedly, but I still can't give it up. It's just too big a coincidence. That's the other thing. That line about the trick ear. It is. It's always the left ear, and they keep track to that. He didn't make a mistake on which ear it was. I don't care. It's George's tux. Something Russell Crowe said about Gladiator 2 producers, they missed the whole point of Gladiator, which was the moral character of the people. And we can see that with George Bailey, it's the moral character of George's sacrificing for the town and the people he loved. And you also see the frustration until he sees that there's actual fruit from it. When you are charitable, when you are self-sacrificing for other people, and you get the feeling that there's ingratitude, that nobody cares, that you're not making a difference, you can become bitter. It's like, I'm sacrificing for what? For nothing. Which is the whole point of this movie. He realizes he's had a huge impact. Again, his left ear is towards his father. Thank you, Mark, very much. Plot, dropping a like. The wife told me to get out of the house and go watch trains. Who am I to argue with that? Yeah, fair enough. Become a member or you won't get any gach or blood wine tonight. And this is the big night, right? I love Annie at the end. She was saving up for a divorce in case she ever got a husband. There always was, and that's a funny, way of planning for the future. But this idea of planning for the future, always setting aside because what could happen, right? Saving up for a rainy day, they used to call it. Now you see his father here. He's torn. He wants his son to follow in his footsteps. He knows the value of what they do. At the same time, he knows his son could do so much more. Julie's cooking smoked turkey and ham, probably why I was told to vacate the premises. Yeah, exactly. Just when you come in, make sure you don't accidentally let in the neighbor's dogs, okay? So you get the impression that Sam Wainwright represents someone who went to college right out of high school, right? George has spent the intervening years working at the building and loan, making money so his brother can go to college, or well, so that he can go to college, so that eventually his brother can go to college. So right now, the current plan is for George to go to college in the spring, or excuse me, in the fall, and his brother to take over his job. Tonight, things, fate plays its hand, and everything gets turned over. Locking eyes across a crowded room,
And that's alfalfa.
Yes, it is. Up. Yes, it is.
That's for you youngins. There was a show back when I was a kid called Our Gang.
Yeah.
And that was one of the characters, much younger, named Alfalfa.
Now, I got to be honest, I've heard these award cups called loving cups for years. No idea why they're called that. I'm not very good at this, and then they break right into the Charleston. They're doing just fine.
I went for the floor to break with all that stomping.
$22 skidoo.
Whatever that means.
I like the fact that he doesn't deny being jealous. And I got the key. And I love the fact that all he's got to do is hand over the key. He doesn't have to do anything. His hands are clean. Now, it is very lucky that nobody fell in right from the beginning with as crowded as that dance floor was.
Well, so as soon as it started separating, people were like moving over.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, wait, this is moving.
And think about how that had to be filmed. There had to be someone planning to be straddling the line to get that shot.
And as that pool is opening more and more, less and less dance floor is available.
I love this. The fact that he's like, screw it, and he just keeps dancing. And she's laughing like, okay. Which, of course, leads everybody else to just say, screw it, I'm jumping in.
Yep. But they're having fun with it, you know?
I love it. Even he's like, oh my God. Oh, what the hey? And he dives in. Now, I will say this. I love the spirit of the people willing to just jump in and have fun. But when you consider the material and color of the dresses and the material of the tuxes, you would not jump into chlorinated water.
Not just with the silk dress
you
and
should
a silk
not.
tux. Yeah.
In other words, I'm legal. Just last year, you were 17. Oh God. That's great. A little bit of leg, a little bit of sexy. Not so much that it's indecent. Something that can be applied to a lot of life situations is when people plan for your downfall, it will usually result in growing the bond stronger between the people you are trying to divide. It does that here. They end up walking together and bonding more. Yeah. Hey, Andrea. GA. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes. Go ahead and click that that Cosme link. Mary just broke some glass in the old house. Now, there's something else. He starts talking about what he wants to do. He wants to build airfields and skyscrapers. There's really nothing that says his building alone can't eventually start getting into commercial loans, which could result in him becoming very wealthy in the future. I also wonder if that scene from what is it? Not Evan Almighty. What's the Bruce Almighty, where he pulls the moon down for his date, if that was inspired by this.
Probably.
She Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he says it to the robe like she shrunk or something. It implies that it does happen to people somewhere else. They'd be on my side too. No. Now that face is very complex. She's disappointed by what's happened, but she's also concerned. So right now, plans are still on. Yeah, you're sure. I'm not so sure. So-called. He came in prepared, see? I want a house for $5,000. You can. It's going to be a fixer-upper, though. He makes a great economic argument here, too. If you can raise people out of poverty, they become taxpayers. They become people that can invest. There's the key line. He died a richer man than you'll ever be. And that's what I was getting at with his wish for $1 million. He gets his wish for wealth, but not in money. So his wish comes true as well. You notice that the rest of the board now is getting ready to argue with him. They've been moved. I've never noticed that little model of the house there. I wonder if that's the same house that Mr. Martini moves into later.
Now, I like that. I can get another job. I'm only 55.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're 55, you're considered to be over the hill. It's like, oh, we have no use
Right.
for you. You could be a door greeter at Walmart.
I love that line. I know he didn't go. It's like Clarence already understands who this guy is. Peanut. Now watch when they get to this two-headed old brother of mine, and he pushes his younger brother. Watch, I'll point it out to you.
And that's the thing that gets me. He gets married and doesn't bother to tell his family. He doesn't even tell him he got engaged.
Okay, that bit there reminds me so much of the scene in Star Wars with Han and Luke when Luke makes it back from the Death Star run. And again, I have to wonder if that was inspired by this scene. So right now, George is in the same situation his father was when they were sitting at the dinner table. I want you to take over the the building and loan, but is it really what's best for you? So he's looking into it. What's involved in this job? You did too. So that kind of cinches it for him. I can't force my brother to do this for my benefit. I got to let him do what's best for him. Again, self-sacrificing. What's better for him? A lot of improv on this actor's part here. Welcome, the Horror Cat Dad. Welcome. Good to see you.
And what I like is this next bit
Yeah.
was purely an accident. Some stagehand, however, dropped a bunch of film canisters, and he just goes with it.
Yeah. Honestly, all these years, I never realized. I assumed he walked into a bunch of garbage cans. No, it was film reels, and they just didn't want to waste the take, so he improvises.
Well, also the guy that dropped them was terrified he was going to get fired.
Yeah, and he probably would have, except the scene turned out so good. He got a bonus for improving sound quality. Yeah, that's a little bit heartbreaking. It's him throwing those pamphlets away is him acknowledging my dream is over. Mom is just looking for a way to make things as good as possible. Hmm. Now that is fair. Just because somebody didn't tell me doesn't mean I don't know. I don't know about war. Speaking of war, as I recall, this was Jimmy Stewart's first film after returning from the war. And the scene coming up with him and Mary in the drawing room was the first scene that he filmed. He was incredibly nervous.
I never really understood that scene. It's like he's getting upset and angry. Like, I don't want no ground floors. Or
you have to understand where he's at right here. His throwing away those pamphlets. He's struggling. He's struggling because he realizes he's taking up a cross and he's giving up the rest of his life with this decision. This scene is also underscoring to that, because when he propositions her with, let's do something crazy and wild, and he gets shot down, again, it's like, okay, I'm giving up. So by the time he gets to Mary's place, he's a little resentful of the decisions that have been made for him, he feels.
See, now Mary would be up for that.
Yes. You're the type that would be up for something like that too.
Yep.
Even if you didn't enjoy it, you'd be like, I'll give it a try. It also tells him, yeah, she's not the girl for him. There's no doubt about that.
Well, like Mary said at the beginning of the film, you like every boy.
Yeah. Enigma says, interesting, George and he would probably end up at the library. And when George theoretically didn't exist, Mary made a living as a librarian who never married. I never caught that. That's a good point. George always reading about things and Mary becoming a librarian. Right. Wow. Now, here's another thing. Your mother called, said you'd be coming over. He never told her that. He didn't even plan at that point to do it. His mother just knew. Now, see, it's just that frustration, right? I understand that. He is tight as a guide rope. Now, you also have to understand things from her point of view. She's excited that he's there and wants to make everything perfect, puts on their song, right? So you see the disconnect there. She's thinking this is such a sweet thing. She did this doodle for him. I remember this. He remembers it too, but now he's feeling apprehensive about it. That whole thing with what's her name. He realizes he's seen as foolish, and now he thinks this is just a joke. But see, obviously, it's a point that of contention for him because her being there means it ruins all of his plans. Now you can see it from his point of view too. It's like he's feeling uncomfortable here, and now he's not feeling wanted. And she doesn't give a flying crap about Sam Wainwright. See, and this is her breaking point. This is her frustration. Because everything she wanted is tied up in George.
And I always thought that was a stupid greeting. Hee haw.
It was his thing. You saw it when he was a little kid. Hee-haw as he's going down the slope.
Mothback?
It's a dig at the fact that I've gotten out of town and made a name for myself, and he hasn't left that town yet. Like moss growing on a
mossback, not moth.
No, moss.
Okay, that's why I never understood the thing.
Mother's on the extension. I am not. Yes, you are. Chili beans. No, soybeans. I love that too. He's not really paying attention, but when he hears an opportunity to get jobs for people in Bedford Falls, he starts engaging in the conversation.
Now, it makes me wonder if this was a real company, if it actually succeeded.
The idea is sound. It makes sense because plastics really did take off from here. And this is the breaking point. This is his last gasp at trying to avoid the inevitable. And you also see a great deal of guilt in his face when he's like, I know I'm taking it out on you and it's not your fault and you don't deserve it.
Why don't you kiss her instead of hugging her to death?
Yeah, well. I don't know. Screw the birds. I think throwing rice is a tradition we need to keep. Although it is raining, so that's going to be a real mess.
Well, you also have to remember that throwing rice was cheap back then.
True. Well, it still kind of is. So this is him still trying to hold on to his dream while augmenting it. I'm married now, but I can still go traveling, right?
Well, it's his honeymoon.
Right. And then fate steps in again. And Mary knows that if he stops, she knows what's going to happen. He does a lot of running up and down that street.
That's how he stays in shape.
Yeah. He's like, oh God, liquid courage. I never noticed that. Matilda Bailey. This is a pickle.
Well, if he's paid off even half their loan, it's like, okay, as soon as our loan to you is paid off, F you, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Matilda Bailey was the phone operator at the building and loan. She was George's cousin.
Okay, why 6 p.m.? What makes that the time that they're supposed to be closing?
I guess that's their normal time. In other words, if you close before normal close time, that's an admission that something's wrong. Now he's got to deal with this rather insurmountable situation. That's timing. This isn't as black as it appears. The cop cars go by.
Well, then you don't need $242 right now.
Right. He's taking advantage of this circumstance to take over the building and loan. Exactly. Enigma, some people just can't be taught. It's key what she says. How much do you need?
And this is George's own money.
And she understands. When she walked in, she realized we're not going anywhere. She'd already accepted that fact.
And this is the other part I don't understand. If their money is there, why do they care if the bank opens or not?
Because they think that they're not going to get their money back. They think that there's a crash and they're going to get nothing. Remember, this was before the federal government insured all banking institutions. We'll save them for seed. I wish they were rabbits. Holy mackerel, I'm married. He hasn't waited all this time. I don't want my wife. I want Mrs. Bailey. This is a great payoff. All right. I'll be right back. The Tom and Jerry's went right through me.
Entree, monsieur. I like the double take into the bedroom. Like, there's a nightgown in there.
The other thing about that run on the building and loan thing, you understand that when Mary brings in that stack of cash and he's loaning it out, These are personal loans. This has nothing to do with the building and loan. This is me helping you get through the week just out of generosity, you know, because you said you needed it. And that is crucial because that plants the seeds. Remember, he says to Mama Dollar and Papa Dollar, right? You know, we'll use them for seed, right? Well, he planted those seeds that pay off at the end of the movie when everybody shows up again with their own money to bail him out. And now he's going, I wish we hadn't broken so many windows. Now, there's absolutely no explanation about how they obtained the house, who paid for it, and how it got fixed. But you could probably extrapolate a lot. The building and loan probably does a lot of work with a lot of different contractors. So he's probably able to get some pretty good deals. Remember, he talked to his dad about saving a few cents on a length of pipe. That's about, you know, building houses on as cheaply as possible.
But still not falling apart.
Right. Well, this place had fallen into disrepair, so they probably got it for next to nothing. So Bailey Park, of course, this would be the, you know, modern equivalent would be, you know, a housing project. This is literally, you know, the stuff of that created the modern suburbs. I expected Martina to look at it and go, is this an Italian wine? See, this is an important line, and this I want to point out to you. That's a key line because he's pointing out how successful the Bailey homes are. He's made almost nothing on them, but in time he is going to become very wealthy. A building and loan where all of these people that have bought homes and are building equity, keeping their money in his building and loan, lending out to other people, wealth tends to grow that way. And that's what I said. After the end of this movie, I could totally see him starting to expanding the building and loan to commercial projects, businesses. And like I said, the bridges and sky rises that he talked about in his youth. But again, that frustration with where he's at right now. I'm helping other people's dreams come true and mine aren't.
Well, Sam even said, it's like, I gave this guy an opportunity to get in on the ground floor in plastics and he turned it down. And now George is kicking himself.
Yeah.
It's like, no one said you actually had to work there. You just invest, and you could have been making a lot of money and you could be helping a lot more
Problem
people.
is he didn't have the money to invest. He was going to take a honeymoon, and even that money he had to give to other people.
Before that.
I know.
It's like he said he had a little money saved. He could have invested that money. It could have grown.
I think the implication is that that little bit of money he had is what became his nest egg for his honeymoon. Now this is the tempter in the garden here, or like Jesus in the desert.
That's 27-28.
I know. Flattering him. Just enough insight to be speaking to George's insecurities.
Heck, I was making that when I was a teenager.
Yeah, but this was, a good 40 years before that.
I know. That's why it's like that was a fortune back then.
Yeah. The mask slips a little bit here. Yeah, always think hard when the devil's trying to make a deal with you. That's exactly right, Enigma. Yeah, now he's thinking about it. I'm shaking hands with Mr. Potter. He realizes who he's doing business with here. Well, he was listening in, so
She.
she was listening in, so it's only fair. And this is all the echoes of the things he wanted to do haunting him now. Now here's another mixed blessing coming. Remember what Potter said. You might, if you scrimp and save, you might be able to save 10. A child or two comes along, you won't even be able to save that. Yes. It's definitely a boy or a girl. There aren't any other options. Yeah, George couldn't fathom that Mary was already satisfied with him and she had no need for other things. Trust me, I know exactly what that feels like.
What exactly were war bonds?
You understand what bonds are, right? They're kind of an investment. They take your cash. Your hope is that it pays off big or later. You make interest. It's basically a government investment, and it was the government's way of raising money to pay for the war. This was before they started deficit spending and got away from the gold standard.
I'm asking all the questions nobody else is asking.
Fair enough.
I figure we probably got some youngins out there that don't know any of this stuff or may not know any of this stuff.
True.
So it's like, hey, I'll ask those questions. So, you don't have to.
He wept and prayed some more. Yeah. It's gonna snow again.
Because it's in black and white, it looks like the wreath that was around his arm is black.
Yeah.
And none of the badness would be happening if Uncle Billy didn't screw up.
True. But again, I would make the argument that God works through adversity. And so I have to believe this is part of the plan too. Tell you what, Bailey Brothers single-handedly saved people in the war and the town, both legit fighters. That's true. They used to talk about doing your part back home. You know what? That wreath looked like it was plastic. I'll bet it was red plastic. Red shows up black on black and white. Yeah.
Okay, Elmira. So are they in California?
I don't know. I always assumed they were East Coast. Somewhere around New York.
It totally ticks me off that Potter never got his comeuppance for this.
I know. Yeah, right there. He just handed all the money to Potter.
Well, you saw the one he was holding the paper first. It was separated by his fingers and then the paper.
Yeah.
And then he put them together.
And this is when he starts to panic.
And he doesn't help either. So it's like,
right,
you're just as complicit.
Potter is very aware of what's going on here. See, and I love that he's basically, he sees her asking for money to get out of town. He sees a little bit of himself in that, like, right? We can see the moral standards Potter had. No argument could be made that Potter was just mean. Morally, he is bankrupt. Yes, that's a great way of putting it, Severus. Now, again, this is his desperation. He's not wrong, but it's certainly not constructive either.
Nothing I want to discuss in front of the children.
Now watch this. This is just another one of those just heartbreaking moments. When she turns around and sees him, she knows something's really wrong. Back then, tinsel was made out of
Lead.
tin and lead. So he's getting lead put on his head. Now, the whole situation with Zuzu is he redirects all of his frustration. He's like, this is something I can address. This is something I can do something about. He doesn't do it well. He screws it up in his anger.
Okay, if he's supposed to be 27 or so, why does he have gray at his in the temples?
I think the assumption is that he's getting old before his time. This is a great setup. Not only is the flower the MacGuffin for why she got sick, not wanting to crush it on the way home, but it's also you know, having these pedals is his indicator of the time shift.
Yep.
We also see him redirect his anger to the teacher and her husband, when it's really all the frustrations he feels with himself. Is being upset about the drafty house, still living in Bedford Falls. All of this he sees as his own failing. See, he's already turning it back towards himself. Maybe my kids don't have the best clothes. Now here's another thing. The bridge. Another, just like earlier when he was throwing away the pamphlets, another dream of his that he sees will never come true. Now the kids don't understand it. Mary kind of does. Now, what a situation he's put himself in. He is apologizing, but he's not telling them something very serious has happened and I'm struggling. He can't say that to his family. Now that hits hard. She has to protect the children because he's not. But now he feels like I got nothing. I've just alienated myself from my only lifeline. And she's directing it the right way. She's helping the kids to understand something bad is happening. And you can do, the only thing you can do to support your dad is to pray for him. And what do we see her doing? She's on the phone. She's on the phone because she's going to find out what's going on and she's going to do what she can to fix it. Yeah, he's throwing himself on the pyre to protect his uncle. Now, right there was a kernel of reality, right? Why don't you go to your friends? His friends end up coming through for him. He doesn't believe his friends can help him or would help him. And certainly Potter doesn't. But ultimately, that's exactly what ends up happening.
And you still are.
Yeah. Now, see, there's a lot that happens right there. Finds out that it was Welsh, so he kind of sees he had this coming. But at the same time, the timing is, yeah, this is what I get for praying. Then there's this guy. He's in everything. We'll see him again later in Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah, he's lucky he was able to stop on a wet and icy road.
Angel second class.
Nope, nope, nope. I'm sorry. I was busy getting the overnight stream ready. I didn't see that the Bosco scenario stopped in to say Merry Christmas. If you're still here, Bosco, Merry Christmas to you as well. We are watching It's a Wonderful Life. Cosme link is up there if you want to see. We're just about to get to the whole time shift. Got to earn his wings.
Yep. Oh, hello, Ushers G. I don't know if we said hello to you yet.
Oh, hey there, Ushers G. Sorry, man. Like I said, I'm kind of involved trying to get other streams set up. See, so he knows that when he has to think about it, you're right. He knows that people will be upset. So it's better, he thinks, if he'd never been born, no one would care then that he wasn't around.
So if he's never been born, the snow would stop?
Butterfly effect. If he'd never been around, so many things have now changed. Yeah. You can imagine that it would change the weather, right?
You've never been born.
So again, drawing, comparisons. This makes you think about what do you call it? The Back to the Future 2, right? Where you see the alternate timeline where Biff is, taking over Twin Pines, Lone Pine, whatever. Yeah, there's got to be some inspiration from this, right? So if George had never been born, Nick would own the place rather than Martini. That doesn't necessarily make him better off for it, though. Nick's like, what? Well, sure, they believe in him, but yeah, because you don't exist. So boom, you get your first taste of history changing. It's like, do you understand? You're not in the Bedford Falls you grew up in. You didn't grow up because you were never born. You don't understand. A little bit of timey-wimey, Twilight Zone-y stuff.
Obviously not.
Zuzu's pedals. Now he got real concerned when there was no insurance policy, but when he's told that Zuzu's pedals don't exist, you realize that's what really mattered to him was Zuzu, right? Those pedals mean his family. Don't give me any crap. I didn't have a drink. Pottersville, right? Not Bedford Falls. This is what I'm talking about. This is kind of like, when Marty ends up in, Biff's, casino world or whatever. Pawnbroker, strip club, right? Bars and casinos, dance halls. Flagging down a cop. I got a live one here. So this is his home, but Mary never rehabbed it. So it's still a husk. Little divine intervention. I'll just take him away. Ma Bailey's boarding house. So when he's calling her mother, she assumes he's referring to her as Ma Bailey because that's the name on the... That's pretty bleak. He was 8 years old. Hey, can I get another drink? Thanks. Yeah, it's not easy, is it? She's an old maid. She never got married. She's closing up the library. Of course, she doesn't recognize him.
So she's not in love with him.
Right. But she's scared. Strangers chasing her down. Now everybody's confused. How do you know me? But we're not going to let you hurt this girl.
He's got
so he
crazy
calls
eyes.
the police. Now he's in real trouble. He just punched a cop. Now that's kind of crazy, shooting down the street.
Yeah.
Not smart on the cop's part, but I don't care what happens to me, but get me back to my family.
There's the snow.
Now think about that. He's calling out to Clarence. Clarence isn't there. But as soon as he prays to God, God's like, okay, I'll take care of this. Again, the snow's back. Bert knows him. His mouth's bleeding. Zuzu's pedals. That's what he looks for. He's not looking for his insurance policy. He's looking for Zuzu's pedals.
Why doesn't he take the car is what gets me.
Because he crashed into a tree. Maybe he thinks it doesn't work. He's also wanting to confirm everything is back the way it should be. The Bells of St. Mary's. I'll be playing that later on. Reporter, yeah.
It's like, where's the children? So he's got 4 kids.
Yeah.
It's like, would you let me talk?
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one slipped on her scarf that she dropped down the stairs.
Yeah. She told some people you were in trouble. They scattered all over town to get help. And again, this is what I was talking about in the scene at the building and loan when there was a run, right? He starts giving out all of his money to everybody to help them get through until the bank opens. And Uncle Billy starts writing down an account of all the money going out and who it's going to, trying to keep track of it all. Here's the reverse. Everybody coming to help him. Saving this money for divorce in case I ever got a husband.
I like the other one. I busted open the jukebox.
Busted open the jukebox from Martinis. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you.
She finally gets to play that song.
What the hell? Bank examiner knows he's going to get his money. Tears up the warrant. What are we going to arrest you for? You got the money, obviously. And then here, he's doing the same thing, keeping account, seeing counting up all the money, kind of the reverse of what Uncle Billy was doing at the bank. Like I said, his wish came true. No man is a failure who has friends.
It'd been interesting if they had done another movie of this, like one of George's sons.
Yeah, like a sequel.
Yeah, and Clarence comes back with his wings.
Well, there is technically a sequel called Clarence, where Clarence is on another mission now that he's got his wings. Oh, this one, it seems to hit me harder every year. Kind of can relate more and more to it, you know?
And of course, if you stay right here, you should be automatically directed to the next film.
Next up, we'll be watching Miracle on 34th Street. Another one of those little twist ending kind of things for Christmas time. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. We'll pick it up in about 15 minutes over on the next one. I got to get myself a sandwich or something because I haven't really eaten today. So you guys, I thank you so much. And stick with me. Keep Cosme open because that's where we'll just keep running them. And if you want to join me for the next one, great. Otherwise, we're going to have movies going all night. So otherwise, Merry Christmas, everyone, and hopefully see you over on the next one.